Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Prince from PrinceTV VX, and today I'm going to be checking out the latest video from Jaiden Animations. It's been so long since I watched any of these animation videos. I think I have not done any reactions to these animations videos on this channel, so this is probably going to be the first reaction that I do on this new channel. Let's go ahead and check out things about relationships I wish someone told me about. Okay, so I guess this is going to be about relationships. Let's go ahead and check this one out.
People are so complicated that most of us don't even understand our feelings and thoughts half the time. Yet here we are, 7.5 billion of us stuck on this rock, having to interact with each other, everyone with different goals and values and beliefs, and we all gotta try and get along. And also some people have knives and no emotional reaction to murder. But that's not the point. When I say relationships, I'm talking about any type of interaction between people. Friends, family, colleagues, when you do the kisses with someone. Red flags are a term that everyone's familiar with. That person cheats on everyone they've been with, red flag. That person only uses people for their personal benefit, red flag.
Those are the worst people who just, stick with you as a friend, like just for their benefits.
That person doesn't wipe off the knife after spreading butter on toast, and when they go for more butter, little crumbs get stuck in the tub. Red flag. But what about red flags that only start revealing themselves once you've built trust with someone and have a connection with? When your opinion of someone is positive, those flags can start being overlooked, or you start saying, oh, but they're a good person. I trust them. Oh, I mean, they wouldn't want to hurt me on purpose. It's easy to rationalize warning signs of a bad relationship when you have a positive view of someone, but it doesn't mean that they're not there or should be ignored. They're still being a jerk. It's just complicated by your history together. I think the majority of people...
It happens to us so many times, and especially I see it among my bros. I think whenever they have a crush on a girl, I think it's the same way for the girls too. Like, if you have a crush on someone, then pursuing her or him, you only see the positives, and no one, like everyone else around you, sees the negativity. Like when she or he does something wrong, you can't see that because you're just blinded by love or affection for that person, and that's something that actually ends up being like adds up over time, and in the end it just breaks your heart when you actually realize that he or she has been like a really bad person all this time, and you thought he was something else.
Tend to be too nice or passive or overly understanding. It's really common and easy to do. Because of that, toxic relationships are much more prevalent than you'd realize, and it can be difficult to know what to look for. There's a chance you're in a hurtful relationship right now and don't even realize it. The term manipulation gets thrown around a lot, and because of that, I think a lot of people would feel they would be able to identify manipulation if it happened to themselves. But it's not as easy as Chad and Sally are dating. Sally wants to go out with friends. Chad forces Sally to stay home with him. Chad's a manipulator. Yeah, that's actually a super common manipulative situation. But the way manipulation works is that it builds up slowly over time and is almost entirely emotional. Chad might instead start isolating Sally from her friends by nitpicking things he doesn't like about an individual person at a time. I don't like how Nick talks to a lot of girls. It's kind of weird. Don't you think Dawn drinks too much? It's not too responsible of her. Little implants like that can make Sally view her friends not as highly one by one and start trusting Chad more. A few months of this go by and Sally's not hanging out with any of her friends anymore, and Chad successfully isolated her, which means he has much more control over her thoughts and emotions. You still might think that's easy to see through, and some people are better at picking up on warning.
Not really. Like, if you are actually in a relationship with someone, like they start to want to manipulate you, control a certain aspect of your life, it's really hard to break through that, because you don't know that that's happening. I see it with my friends, like some of them have boyfriends, and now they don't want me to hang out with them because they're pretty insecure about themselves, I guess. They don't want someone as charming as me being their friends. So yeah, I've seen it. Like, they didn't tell me, but I hear it from others, like, yeah, that's happening. So but yeah, I don't understand like how someone actually keeps a relationship with a manipulative person, because I don't see a long-term happiness in that. Maybe they're just learning their lessons, and hopefully when they get out of this relationship they would know what not to look for. So by making mistakes, they're going to get the good ones.
Likes than others. I think it's important to keep in mind that everything in real life is much more humanized than when we talk about them. For example, we're raised to believe that drugs are awful. It's pretty much brainwashed into us. You're at a party, the lights are blaring, and someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey kid, wanna do a drug?"
Cigarette.
Time slows down, the cigarette is glowing with evil energy. You look up and all of a sudden they've grown horns and fangs. And
What?
oh my god, it's Satan! No, that's not what happens. Realistically, you'd be at a small get-together with close friends. You've had a nice night with them so far, laughing and having a good time just like normal. One of them just takes out a little sandwich baggie and is like, "Hey, I've got Coke." There's no time slow-mo or sirens. It's a completely normal feeling situation and all of a sudden your brain is confused. Drugs are bad, but this is my friend. We've known each other since 5th grade. He's just a normal dude. He's not bad. Are my other friends gonna do it? Your brain thinks of any excuse.
Everyone did it. I'm so like amazed that Jaiden is actually talking about drugs like that, like explicitly on this channel, because I understand her viewership is like really young. So it's pretty cool though, like, you know, she's not censoring herself just because of the kids.
Use it can to rationalize behavior from people you trust or think highly of, which applies to relationships. It can be difficult, but you need to define how people should treat you and respect yourself enough to not let people maneuver you into bad situations. Emotionally abusive and manipulative relationships are super freaking common, and it's tricky because they jostle with your head feels and can make you feel like a squashed fly on a window. Stuck, powerless, sad, if fly corpses even feel sad. I mean, I guess they're just dead. Emotional blackmail is a way to control or manipulate someone by using guilt, fear, and obligation against them. Is someone passive-aggressive, overly controlling? Do they use threats like, "Do this or I'll hurt you," or even, "Do this or I'll hurt myself"? That leads to another difficult...
Do this and I'll hurt myself. That's something that I have seen people do. And that's like the most cowardly thing that you could say to a girl. Like, I've seen, like, you know, some of my girlfriends have boyfriends, you know, like my friends who are girl have boyfriends, and they would like, yeah, if they don't like her doing certain things, they would just say, "Oh, I'll just hurt myself." I mean, how can you actually say or do something like that? Real men doesn't do that. So and they fall for it. They actually listen to their boyfriend when they say shit like that.
Situation. If someone ever belittles themselves, "I'm pathetic. You should just leave me. I'm gonna hurt myself." It puts you in a complicated position because it can feel like there's a responsibility to provide this person with whatever they need because obviously you care about them and you don't want them to feel this way or even do something bad to themselves. But this is a hard pill you've got to just swallow. You are not personally responsible for anyone's happiness. But they've got really bad self-esteem, and I'm worried that not responsible for anyone's happiness. But they're really depressed and can't help it, so I feel like if I just not responsible for anyone's happiness. But I'm Santa Claus. Alright, gray area. Responsibility shouldn't be assigned to you, even if it breaks your heart to step back. People normally aren't equipped to be able to help someone with their issues anyway, so it's best to encourage them to see a professional who's been trained to know how to handle things. Someone might be struggling with their own personal stuff, but mental illness doesn't negate their responsibility to maintain a healthy relationship. It just means they need to work on themselves, which is okay, but you don't need to be a part of that. You've got your own junk, they've got their junk. You need to decide how much of their junk you want to help with. Don't let them forcefully shove their junk on you. I like to imagine...
That was funny. Don't let them forcefully shove their junk.
I'm my own little ecosystem, and I do my best to maintain it every day. If there's a person or a relationship I have that just feels like pollution in any way, maybe it started off well, but slowly started feeling damaging, then I've got to just step back and ask myself if I need to kick them off my planet. It sounds harsh at first, but you really can't drop your responsibility to maintain your ecosystem in hopes to improve someone else's. Who's gonna watch your ecosystem?
That's true.
No one. Because that's your responsibility.
That's your
Communication is the most...
Your happiness is the only person that you're responsible for. So, you know, don't take other people's responsibility because that would end up being a burden.
Most important way to know if you can
Unless
work on
they're, like,
fixing
your
the
friends,
relationship or
siblings
need to
and
cut it.
parents.
Hey dude,
Those are different
can you
things.
stop dumping toxic waste into my ocean? You've been doing it for a while and all my cute little dolphins are dying. Oh jeez, I didn't even realize I was hurting them. I'm sorry. What can I do to be better?
Is that
Not
an
only have you
alien
communicated that there's a problem,
fish?
but the person takes full responsibility and is willing to work on getting better. But if they say, look, how was I supposed to know? I was just trying to help. Why are you being so sensitive? That's toxic as shit! Shifting blame, gaslighting, guilt tripping. Catch this deportation. Let them know how they're affecting you, set boundaries on how much you can give, and make sure you both have your own support systems so you don't have to just rely on each other. If things don't change, look at your behaviors as well. Do you
Kick 'em
feel like
out.
you need to justify or explain their actions too much? Do other people you trust not like them? People can get stuck accidentally blaming themselves or over-rationalizing things that are just not right in the first place. And don't
Yeah.
forget that you can also be doing things wrong too. Self-reflect a bit. Verbalize your feelings. Ask yourself, am I being an asshole? Why are you doing things? Out of spite, anger, jealousy? It's tough to admit your faults, but it's more important to be 100% real and brutally honest with yourself if you're gonna maintain a 100% real relationship. People who
100%.
manipulate most often don't realize they're being manipulative. No one wakes up and is like, haha, I'm gonna be super manipulative today. Think about your contributions to your relationships and how they affect things. It's okay to admit when you've messed up. It's more messed up to turn a blind eye and keep being a jerk. It takes a lot to break off any sort of relationship because it can feel like a defeat or like you've given up, but sometimes that's just straight up the best and healthiest solution for both of you. Two people can be great, but just not mix well together. And if you feel like leaving is dangerous for either you or them, ironically, that's a pretty strong reason to leave in the first place. Someone shouldn't ever need you, they should want you. Your ecosystem should be able to sustain itself, and relationships are just the little sprinkles of fertilizer benefit for it. If you feel like you're not strong enough to break something off,
like
a good way to
Jaiden's
work on that
analogy,
is to build confidence. Build a good support system, journal your thoughts, practice positive self-talk.
I am a god.
Alright, not that positive. Treat yourself as a friend. It's not selfish to want the best for yourself, especially when someone's over here being a happiness vampire. When you break something off with someone, remember why things didn't work. Repeat it in your head if you need to. A lot of people try and rekindle
Well, that was the best. The Kanye clip killed me.
relationships when the initial problem hasn't been fixed. People need time to change. You don't owe someone a second chance if they haven't put in the work to fix anything. And you can't force someone to get help. If you're unsure about a relationship, think about these questions. Do you put off seeing or responding to them? Do you feel worse after spending time with them? Have they threatened you or themselves in any way? Do they make you feel like you can't do things on your own? Or you can't make a single decision without them? Do they ask for a lot of favors or money and don't pay it back? Do they talk badly behind your back? Do you feel like you're walking
sorry,
on
I can't
eggshells
forget
around
about
them?
the
Do they put
Kanye
you
clip.
down? If it's a yes to more than one of those, then you should start considering either ending it or try to communicate and resolve the problems. Don't tolerate any pollution. You're the one who has to live in it, and you deserve clean air.
Yes. Alright. Alright, I'm sorry that I laughed like throughout the video in the end. I feel like now, if anyone ever tells me to be positive in real life, that I am God clip just is gonna pop up in my head. I can't get that image out of my head. Dude, that was brilliant. Alright, so that was things I wish I knew about relationships. Actually, it brings up a lot of point. Like, I'm actually studying in university right now, and you know, I'm pretty mature for my age. I see my classmates like being manipulative. Like, I'm not in a relationship, I'm single, and when you are actually single, you can see how dumb people becomes or how easily they can be manipulated, you know, by their loved ones, without them even realizing, and that actually takes a toll on their mental health and their well-being. So I see them getting depressed, getting anxiety just because of their boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe even a friend. It doesn't have to be romantic relationships. Friends can be manipulative too. So it's really important to be aware of who you're, making friends with or associating with, because, yeah, it's just super easy to, get into the trap without even knowing it, because you don't know that you're being manipulated, and maybe they don't want to manipulate you that way, but the way they have been brought up, they don't know how harmful it actually is for you. So it's a good video. I think a lot of Jaiden's viewers are going to be, in the same situation. So it's a good thing that, from this video they can actually learn a lot of stuff. And like I said, it's very relatable. I see that happening all the time, and I'm one of those persons who are actually like consciously aware of, the manipulations and the pressure that comes with relationships. So I try not to get messed up in all these. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. That's my reaction and thoughts about Jaiden. As always, brilliant video, and that Kanye clip, like I said, the best joke on the video. So thumbs up. If you haven't seen the original video, go ahead and check out Jaiden. I guess you have already seen it. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments what video would you like me to check out next. I would love to do more of these animations. There's just so many Jaiden videos that I want to check out, want to talk about on this channel. So yeah, thumbs up for that. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I am a god.